Okay, so there's 6 movies here. You got Get Out, you got Identity, you got Sound of Music, True Grit, Wall-E, and Into the Wild. Wall-E was awesome because it was like futuristic. It was futuristic, and so we destroyed the planet though. So it looked like China. It looked like China today. They got all these futuristic buildings. We destroyed the planet. We're out in a spaceship, and then we were all fat, and then they were fighting the machines trying to get back to Earth. Did you like Wall-E?
Yes, like Wally. He was all to himself and just taking care of himself, and he was rusty, but he found everything interesting as he was cleaning things up.
When he was doing the ping pong ball and he hit himself in the face, you found that funny.
Because he was like, "Ooh, how did that happen?"
Is it always funny when the romantic lead, gets injured? Is that something funny to you?
And nobody was adorable when he was clearly liking the girl.
I think it's such a great love story because it's almost like a poor boy loving this supersonic, out of this world woman that can like shoot fire out of her thing and run here, go there, and does all this, and then all he can do is just crush things. But he has heart, right? So he has a spirit, he's got heart, he gives a damn, and he loves her. And so even though he's not up to her, capabilities, he was willing to put his life on the line, and he came in and he saved the day. So I think it's a great love story. It's a great futuristic story, and maybe, even if we got all this technology, maybe we shouldn't destroy the earth. Maybe we should, somebody are saying that technology is going so faster, it's going faster than our humanity. Which that's not good, because we're killing Gazans right now, so we're going to use drones, we're going to, use all the fancy technology that we have, so if our technology is surpassing our humanity, then we're just on a crash course of destroying ourselves as quick as possible. Into the Wild is about Alexander Supertramp. Alexander Supertramp, let's see, what did he do?
He gave up all of his belongings and gave up his total identity, and he wanted to make it to Alaska.
Alexander Supertramp was getting beat up by his parents, and they were mean and terrible, and they were just into them own damn selves, and they didn't give a shit, and so he wanted to do this cross-country thing, but then it became a lifestyle, because what's he supposed to do? Go back to the abuse? He didn't have a choice. People want to make it seem like he did something crazy. He does eventually hit his claim to fame, which sucks, as he goes into the wild of Alaska. He just draws a little circle on the map and just goes into the middle of Alaska in the middle of nowhere, and he ends up starving and dying in 4 months. But he survived, for 90 days. But he starved and died, and then people start saying, who is this person? Why did he do this thing? What's this about? And there's a movie about it. There's a book written about it.
He found jobs along the way. He had freedom. He found friends.
Did you like it?
I liked it.
What did you like about it?
He had a botanical book that he was learning what he could eat out in Alaska in the fields. The journey. I like the journey that he was on.
Oh, did you?
Scared me.
You like the journey, huh?
Yes.
I thought that it was fantastic. I thought it was actually incredible because I could totally relate to it. He's Alexander Supertramp. Why is he Alexander Supertramp? Because he's going to forge himself a brand new life, a brand new existence. He's super smart. He could do all this computer code. He could be a NASA scientist. He could, build rockets. But his goddamn mother and father are just so fucking up their own goddamn asses, and they're putting so much fucking pressure on him. They think that because they just provided a material life for him, that's good enough. But they lost their souls. And so he's like, things, society, and he's reading all these books, and he found freedom. He went out and just started, going out and about, and he was able to find freedom, and then he had this great Alaska adventure. And he only made a couple mistakes, so really he shouldn't have died. There was an elk he could have killed in the beginning, but he saw like a little baby elk, but then the meat might not have saved, but then he did kill the elk at the end, and then all the meat went bad. So if he would have learned to save the meat, there was also the berries. He was starving, and then he ate some poisonous berries because he didn't read the book right. He had the book, but he didn't have, the best knowledge. So I think he also got injured. He broke his shoulder or something, and so he couldn't leave. He couldn't get out. So he's starving, eating berries, and then he died. But because he was inspirational, he was that old man. I read a little thing. He was talking about the old man, that life is about adventure, and that he was just too damn conservative, and he was just too, comfortable doing his little routine. And if life is about adventure, then you've already given up on life. But then as he's dying, he says that life is about shared experiences during relationships. So I think life could be about a bunch of things.
Did
But-
get the old man to walk up that hill, mountain.
Well, I'm thinking of the ideal. Can you combine those two things? Can't you have a life of adventure and have a relationship with shared experiences? You could have both of those things. You had the two Swedish people, right? The nudists that were just canoeing up there in Alaska, wherever the hell. That was two mountaineers. They're both hanging out. They're both adventurers, and they both had shared experiences. So I don't think it's really one or the other. I think you could have both. Sound of Music, True Grit, Identity, or Get Out. Which one did you like out of all those three the most?
Sound of Music.
Why?
It's a love story, family, atmosphere, and it tells you about what.
It was so boring and so slow, and even though he was like a mean old grump, and then she's supposed to be this flamboyant, she brings all this fun and energy. They're just singing, every time they do a tiny little thing. I'm getting me a fork. I'm eating me some cake. I'm eating cake. I got a fork. I am so happy.
Female dear.
Just in the very beginning, she's just like, I'm walking today. Walking today. What was the first song? Don't say the famous one. Do you even remember the first one? It seemed like a crazy person. It seemed like a crazy person walking down the sidewalk. Confidence. She was talking about confidence. I'm confident, confident. And then she meets the Baron, and she's like, oh, hi, Mr. Baron. Where did your confidence go? What happened to all that confidence?
Well, when she stood up to him about the whistle, that was pretty good.
He's not a Nazi, so I feel like
They also fell in love at that moment.
I don't know if I like your understanding of movies, frankly. Because he's not the bad guy. And yeah, she was able to transform him somewhat, but I think he always had that goodness in him, so all she did was get him in touch with the goodness that was there the whole time. And then he had, not only did he have good, but he had principles. When he saw that Nazi flag, he took the Nazi flag and he ripped it right in half. Didn't even think twice about it. But then that little 19-year-old who was, 15, going on 17, whatever, he turned into a Nazi immediately. He didn't even question it. He didn't even think twice.
And being a father, knew that he had to protect them.
So I just feel like, imagine if he was a Nazi and it's like, whistle, whistle, whistle. Well, I don't think you should whistle. Well, I'm going to whistle at you. I'm going to fire your ass. Okay. See you later, or what do you think she would have done? Did she need the job? She just lost the thing at the nunnery, right? She can't go be a nun again.
Well,
If he was a Nazi, then she would have to shut her damn mouth and just live in misery, or be a homeless person and go up to Alaska and starve to death. So the fact that he wasn't a Nazi is, I think, to me, is the best thing about Sound of Music. Sometimes you laugh at the Austrian guy because it's like, ha! You stupid man! You need a woman! You need a woman and we make everything better! If you don't see that the Nazi is a fucking shithead and the Austrian is a good guy, if you don't give any credit to him being a good guy, then you're fool yourself. Because if it's a Nazi, you know that women get beat up. So if you're in a relationship where you're getting smacked the fuck up because he's a Nazi, so shut your mouth, you do as you're told, you get in the kitchen, barefoot and pregnant, you don't backtalk, I make the decisions, you're a little kid, shut up, do the laundry, do the damn cleaning, take care of the kids, and you just keep your mouth shut. You don't see a difference?
yes.
I think you're just saying it. because I think that that's the whole story.